This is your moment. Heaven is speaking to you, not by chance, but by divine design. The voice of the Lord is breaking through your everyday life because the time for decision is now. You stand at a crossroads where every choice echoes into eternity. This is not a gentle invitation. It is a divine summons. Your surroundings may look the same, but in the spiritual realm, everything is changing. The weight you feel in your chest is not anxiety, it is the gravity of eternity. The Lord has silenced the noise of the world just long enough for you to hear him clearly, because this might be the last time he calls you like this. The ancient words of Deuteronomy 30:19 still resonate today. I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. This is your line in the sand. The paths of life and destruction are not distant. They are right at your feet. Your next step will place you firmly on one or the other. There is no middle ground left. Think back to the storms you've survived, the ones that should have swallowed you whole. Every narrow escape, every moment you were spared was not luck. It was the mercy of God shielding you for such a time as this. But mercy unheeded becomes a witness against you. If you keep delaying, the grace you've taken for granted will no longer stand between you and the consequences you've been spared from. This is not a fear tactic. It is a wake-up call. You have been marked for a purpose too great to waste. You've always felt it. The strange feeling of being different. The discomfort when you tried to blend in. The inner stirring that refused to let you settle. Those were all signs, heaven's fingerprints on your life. Yet with great calling comes great accountability. And now heaven will not let you drift quietly into destruction. You are being summoned to stand, to move, to obey. Delay is no longer harmless. Every moment you hesitate, the enemy advances. And when he gains too much ground, taking it back becomes far harder than it had to be. You are still here because your assignment's not finished. But today is about more than just hearing these words. It's about answering them. God does not need your perfection. He needs your surrender, your yes. The kind of yes that changes what you do after you close this message. If you feel the fire in your spirit right now, it's because the Spirit himself is testifying to the truth of this moment. Like this message, share it so others on the edge can hear this warning. Subscribe so you do not miss the next word that could keep you on the path of life. Then make your decision visible. Type the number 144, the mark of the sealed and set apart, as your public declaration that you choose life today without delay. Understand this. When you type that number, it is not a game, not a meaningless gesture. It is a covenant moment between you and heaven. In the unseen realm, such declarations are recorded. Angels bear witness. Demons take note. Your words have the power to shift the atmosphere around you, to cut off assignments of darkness that have been trailing you for years. This is why the enemy will try to convince you to stay silent. He will whisper, "It's not that serious. You can decide later. You can pray about it tomorrow." But those are not harmless thoughts. They are snares. The enemy knows if you act now, his grip is broken. If you delay, his chains only tighten. So this is not the time for half measures. Heaven is not calling you to think about it, but to act, to declare, to mark yourself as one who belongs fully to the Lord. There is a boldness rising in you right now because the Spirit of God is igniting it. Don't smother that flame. Fan it into a blaze by responding instantly. The way of life is before you. The blessing is within reach, but it will not force itself upon you. You must take it. And once you do, nothing on earth or in hell can take it away. This is your final call. Step forward now before the last light fades and the door is sealed forever. You feel it even before words form in your mind, the weight of being seen by the Almighty. God's eye is not scanning the crowd aimlessly. It has settled unblinking on you. This gaze is not casual. It pierces through every mask, every excuse, every carefully arranged facade. It does not see the image you present to others. It sees the truth you live in secret. There is nowhere to hide from this kind of vision. It travels past your expressions, past your carefully chosen words, and into the motives that fuel your actions. This is why you feel exposed, not because God is cruel, but because He is truthful. His seeing is not meant to shame you. It is meant to awaken you. As it is written in Psalm 33:18, "But the eyes of the Lord are on those who fear Him, on those whose hope is in His unfailing love." This is both comfort and confrontation. Comfort because it means you are not forgotten. Confrontation because it means He notices when you turn away. The one who formed your heart also sees when it drifts. The gaze of God is unlike the gaze of people. People look until they grow bored or distracted. God looks until the work is done. He sees when you've stood firm against temptation and when you've chosen compromise. And He remembers the moments you justified it to yourself. There is no moment in your story that has slipped past Him. Not the pain, not the victories, and not the failures you would rather erase. His eyes are searching for more than confession. They are searching for alignment. When God's gaze rests on you, it is because He is looking for agreement between what He has spoken over your life and the life you are actually living. Where He sees a gap, He will speak, not to condemn you, but to call you back into that alignment. But being seen by God is not always comfortable. It means you can't hide in the shadows of your own excuses anymore. It means the prayers you've been praying without expecting an answer suddenly have an answer, and it demands something from you. When His gaze locks on you, it strips away the option of indifference. There's something else about His seeing. You are not the only one He sees. But in this moment, it feels like you are. You felt invisible before, overlooked in rooms where your presence barely registered. But to the Lord, your existence is not lost in the vastness of creation. He is capable of holding the entire cosmos in His hands and still noticing the smallest tremor in your heart. That is how closely He watches over you. Yet there is a holy seriousness to this watching. The same eyes that watch over to protect will also watch over to judge. The same love that guards you will also confront you when you wander. God's gaze carries both mercy and accountability, and you cannot separate the two. For the chosen, being seen means being shaped. It means you will not be left to wander aimlessly in self-deception. If you have felt the discomfort of conviction lately, it is because His gaze has found you. That discomfort is a gift, proof that your heart is still tender enough to respond. There are those who once felt it, but hardened themselves until they no longer noticed. That is the most dangerous place a person can be. Not in the midst of visible sin, but in the numbness where sin no longer feels like sin. You are not there. The very fact that you feel something stirring as you read this proves that God's eye is still on you, still drawing you back. In the days ahead, you will recognize His gaze in unexpected moments, in the quiet when no one is around, in the conviction that rises mid-conversation, in the sudden clarity that certain paths are no longer for you. Do not push that away. The gaze of God is both your safety and your summons. eye is upon you, you are never lost. But when his eye is upon you, you are never allowed to stay the same. This is the tension of being chosen. The God who loves you as you are refuses to leave you as you are. His seeing is the first step toward your transformation.